Hey, welcome everybody, and thanks for stopping by. So today, I got a special one for you. We're going over a beginner DIYer slash beginner woodworker tool set. Now, one of the misconceptions I think is out there is that it costs a lot of money to get started, but it really doesn't. You can get some really good tools for not that much money and get started making some really cool things. And so the point of this list is not just to go over the things that you need, because things are going to be different, but I want to talk about some of the things that I've used that were a waste of time and money, or things that I should have spent money on, just to kind of give you guys some of my lessons that I've learned since I've been doing this this hobby. Okay, so let's get into it. All right. So the first thing we're talking about here are clamps. Now, I bought this set of clamps right here a long time ago, and I've used these guys for a long time. These are the Irwin. You can get them at Lowe's, and I think they come in a pack of 4, and they're about 35 bucks. And these have come in really, really handy. I've made so many things with these. Like I can't even tell you all the things that I've built with these things. They just come in so handy. There are some that you can get, like the DeWalt ones, but those ones are kind of expensive, and you really, unless you're building some serious things, you can probably get away with these. And not to mention, there's clamps and jigs that you can make for these when you're building your projects. Now then, what I would stay away from are these guys. These are the Harbor Freight clamps. They're pretty cheap. Like, I think this guy was like $8, and my goodness, like, it's funny because as soon as I bought this, I saw the review on things that you should absolutely not buy from Harbor Freight, and this was one of them. But so far it hasn't broken on me. I'm going to use it until it breaks, but I also haven't put too much torque on them. So I would not buy these again, nor would I recommend them. So just stay with Irwin. This is a good brand. Very good clamp. Alright, next on my list is a tape measure. Now, this guy right here is the Milwaukee. I really like this one. I've gone through a few, and this one by far is my favorite. I would definitely stick with the 25 foot, which is what this one is. The 30 foot, the spring inside starts to wear on you after a little while, and then it doesn't start to retract as well. So the 25 is kind of like the sweet spot. I really like this one. It's got the finger stop right here. So if I just need to measure something really quickly and I don't want to use a stop, I can. It's got a magnetic tip. Now there's some other good brands out there. Stanley's another good one. I've used Stanley quite a bit. The only thing, stay away from this specific feature, which is the trigger grip right here on the bottom. That one I used, and it wore really quickly. And the problem with that is that once it wears and you go to measure something, the tape measure will drift on you, and it gets pretty annoying. So yeah, a good tape measure, it won't be too much money, and if you buy it at the right time, you can get a really good deal, which I'll let you guys know where to go for those. Okay, next is a level. Now, you don't need to spend a whole lot of money on a level. Just make sure that if you look down the spine of it, that it's nice and straight. I didn't spend a whole lot of money on this guy, and I've used it for a very, very long time. And I mean, geez, I've built so many things with this thing, and it's been really, really nice and very, very useful. So I would absolutely recommend a level. Okay, next I want to talk speed squares. Now then, this is the one that I used for a very, very long time, and it finally broke on me. I don't know if you guys can see it right there, it broke. And man, I used this thing for a long, long time, and I probably ended up having a funeral for it or something, because it's been a really solid square for me, but it just broke. And so I finally upgraded to this guy right here, which is an all metal square. Now, the difference between is like a few dollars. Like this one's maybe like $5, and I got this one at Harbor Freight for maybe like $8. So if you can go with the metal square, you're not going to go wrong with the metal square. This is a good one to get. Now, this is something I didn't start with when I started woodworking, and I really wish I did, because there's so many times that I've come to grab these. They've just been super handy, and I wish I would have started when I got these. Now, you don't need to go and buy very expensive chisels. Just make sure that you get ones that have good ends on them, so if you need to go to hammer, they're not going to break on you, and you should be fine. Make sure you're not banging anything too hard. Keep the ends sharp. Okay, so kind of moving into hand tools, but not quite there yet. I mean power tools. When we're talking about drill bits. All right, so this is the one I got. This was a Skills, and this was like just like a value bit set, and it's coming very handy. Like, the thing I like about it is it gives you so many different bits in here. Like, I mean, just so many. And I've used this thing for such a long time, you know. And I upgraded to the DeWalt bit kit, and this one's nice, but I usually save these for like my higher end projects where I want something that's a little bit more precise. Not that these aren't, it's just that I kind of, these are a little bit higher quality, so I go with these on my more intricate projects. But for everyday use, I use these guys, and if you're just starting out, these are gonna be fine. These are gonna work for you. And I've used these, and you know, if one breaks or snaps, just a thing, you know, I'm not heartbroken or anything like that. And then the same in bits is going to be a bit kit. Now, you can go with something like this, which is a DeWalt, and these usually aren't too expensive, especially in certain times. You can get really good deals on these. But you want to get some that have good number 2 bits. And if you can, I would recommend something like this. This is an extended number 2 bit, and man, I didn't always use this, and I wish I did, because man, there's so many times that there's just, I gotta get an angle on something, and having that extended length is just, it's just very handy. So yeah, I would recommend that too. That's gonna be it for hand tools. Now I want to talk to you guys about power tools. Please do not think you need to go out and spend a whole lot of money on power tools. If you're just getting started, I would recommend something like a Ryobi. They're really nice because it has one battery and it fits all of their different tools that they have. And they have a lot of tools that you can pick from. And they're really good quality for just, you know, are you gonna take them out to a construction site? No, not really. But, you know, for everyday use, for your DIYers, your beginner woodworkers, they're good solid tools to have. And then later on, once you've made some projects and maybe made a little bit of money, then you can upgrade to a DeWalt, Milwaukee, Bosch, Makita, things like that. But as a tip, these guys right here. Now, I upgraded to these not too long ago, and these are the 12-volt lineup. I'm gonna make a video comparing both of these, kind of doing a head-to-head, tell you which ones I like more than the other, because I do prefer one of these. But what I will say is that man, these 12 volts have just been super nice, and the reason is because when you're doing woodworking, like cabinetry work, anything like that, there might be like a tight spot you're trying to get into, and these have plenty of power, and you can get into those really tight spots, which is what I really like. So if you can afford it, I would recommend the 12 volt series. But like I said, Ryobi is going to be a good bet for a lot of beginner DIYers, which is what I started with when I started working. I started with the Ryobi, the old school ones. This guy right here, this is a power saw. I bought this used, and it's been really awesome since I've had it. It's corded. Eventually I'll upgrade to a smaller version of a battery one, just because I don't always need to break this one out, but when I'm breaking down plywood, things like that, this comes in really handy. Now that it's kind of staying in saws, we're going to go to my miter saw. A lot of people are going to recommend an orbital sander, which is a good way to go, but for me and what I do, a mouse sander has been kind of like my preferred sander, and I get the corded ones. This way I'm not having to worry about batteries. The battery's dying. You know, when I'm working, I want to be able to work through it and not have to stop and worry about batteries and stuff. Just for the sander. If you're a DIYer, beginner woodworker, I would absolutely recommend this pocket hole jig. This is one you're gonna have to spend a little bit more money on, but man, is it worth it. I mean, I can't even tell you how many times I've used this on different projects, and it just comes in great. Now, if you don't have the money to spend for the pocket hole jig, you can buy the the kit that's just basically the holes, and it comes with the clamp that you can clamp down on, and that one's not bad. That's a good way to start off if you don't have the funds for the kit. If you have the kit, if you can't get the kit, then get this one. This one has come in really handy. I can't even tell you how many things I've built with this guy. The drill, the carpenter square, and clamps. I built like a bunch of projects just starting off. So okay, so that's pretty much it. That covers the beginner woodworker list, but we're not quite done yet. I do want to give you one more bonus, and this is something that I wish I had started off, that I had when I started off, and I didn't, and I wish I did. And that is the Mag Grip pocket pouch. Man, this guy has come in so handy. Basically, you just get it right here and you clip it right onto your belt, and from here you always carry, you know, your measuring tape on you, which is what I always use. I mean, always use. And my carpenter's pencil, I keep that in there, and it's a huge time saver because it keeps you from having to go back and forth to grab things. And it has this magnetic pad right here that you can throw some bits, some screws, maybe some fasteners that you're changing in and out of right here, and it's just fantastic. I love it. So this is a bonus item, bag pouch. Pick one up. They're not too expensive, and they're going to save you a lot of time in your projects and make you a lot more productive. Okay, so that pretty much covers it. We have our drill, our level, our clamps, speed squares, pocket hole jigs, carpenter's pouch, mouse, and bits. What do you guys use that I didn't include on my list? I'm interested to know what have been some things that have come in really beneficial, really useful to the specific hobbies that you guys have. You know, there's a lot of different things. That's kind of what this whole channel was about. It's about sharing ideas, sharing different thoughts, you know. So it gives us all a space where we can learn and figure out new tips. And that's really all we're doing here. So yeah, that'll be about it. And until next time, keep building. See y'all later.